Things have reportedly completely fallen apart between Fernando Mendoza and the Raiders, after growing pressure from sponsors pushed the organization into a shocking decision. And now, following reports of his release from the team, Mendoza is allegedly reacting in ways that are making the entire situation even messier. So what is really happening behind the scenes? Fernando Mendoza was not supposed to be here. He was not a five-star recruit. He was not scouted by the powerhouses. He was not even on most programs' radar. Rated a 2-star prospect out of Columbus High in Miami, Mendoza was overlooked by most of the Power 5. Those same Hurricanes did not extend him a scholarship offer. When he was coming out of Miami's Christopher Columbus High School, his hometown university passed on him. The Blue Bloods passed on him. COVID wiped out his junior year exposure window, meaning the few film sessions coaches might have used to evaluate him simply never happened. The seismic shift in his recruitment came late in the cycle. The University of California, Berkeley, extended him a scholarship offer in January 2022 after another quarterback decommitted from the program. This was the single solitary FBS, or Power 5 offer Mendoza received from over 130 eligible programs. Driven by the burning desire to compete at the highest level, Mendoza swiftly flipped his commitment to Cal. He had originally committed to Yale. The Ivy League was supposed to be the ceiling. But when Bill Musgrave, Cal's offensive coordinator at the time, flew down to Miami late in the process and sat in Mendoza's living room, everything changed. Mendoza then took a flight to Berkeley and liked what he saw. When he signed with Cal in February 2022, Mendoza told SI.com, "This is the best decision he's going to make." He redshirted his first year. He sat third string behind Sam Jackson V and Ben Finley through the first 5 games of the 2023 season. He began his second season at Cal as the Bears' third string quarterback, behind Sam Jackson V and Ben Finley, who traded starting assignments through the first 5 games of the 2023 season, before Mendoza got his first college start in the 6th game of that season against Oregon State. And when he finally got his shot, he never gave the job back. In 8 starts as a redshirt freshman, he completed 63% of his passes for 1,708 yards and 14 touchdowns, leading the Golden Bears to a 6-7 record and an Independence Bowl appearance. His sophomore season in 2024 brought more production. The 6'5", 225-pound quarterback put together a stellar 2024 season for the Bears, throwing for 3,004 yards, 16 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions, despite a porous offensive line that allowed the 5th most sacks per game in college football. He beat Auburn on the road. He had Cal up 35-10 in the 3rd quarter on a nationally televised game against the number 8 ranked Miami Hurricanes. With College game day in town, his team built a 35-10 lead with 8:06 left in the 3rd quarter and lost. Cal gave up 2 touchdowns with less than 5 minutes left in the game, including one with only 26 seconds left, a devastating result for a team that seemed primed for a defining victory. The loss was the beginning of the end for what Mendoza calls the most talented team he's ever played with. That collapse broke something inside the Cal program. A 3-0 start quickly turned to 3-4. With those 4 losses by a combined 9 points, we had a ton of heartbreaking losses to a point that was backbreaking for some people, such as myself, Mendoza said. He played through 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years. The instability was constant, and by December 2024, he made the call. On December 11, 2024, Mendoza announced he would be entering the NCAA transfer portal. On December 23, 2024, Mendoza announced his decision to transfer to Indiana University Bloomington to play for the Hoosiers. His brother Alberto was already on the Indiana roster as a redshirt freshman quarterback. Another reason why Mendoza decided to go to Bloomington was his younger brother, Alberto, who was already a redshirt freshman quarterback at Indiana. Curt Cignetti had just led Indiana to the program's first ever college football playoff appearance. And when Mendoza visited, choosing Indiana over Georgia and Missouri, Mendoza said he viewed Indiana as the best place for growth, choosing the program over blue bloods like Georgia and Missouri, because Cignetti promised to turn him into the best Fernando Mendoza possible. That promise turned out to be prophetic. But what Mendoza was about to do next, and what the Raiders would do to capitalize on it, would create one of the most consequential storylines in recent NFL history, and it all ties directly into the firestorm we're seeing now. When Fernando Mendoza arrived in Bloomington for the 2025 season, the expectations were already elevated. Indiana was coming off that playoff appearance under Cignetti, and the program had momentum. But what nobody anticipated was the utter domination that followed. During the 2025 season, Mendoza delivered a historic year for the Hoosiers, guiding them to their first conference championship since 1967 and securing the program's first national championship and undefeated season. He also became the first player in Indiana school history to win the Heisman Trophy. This was a program that had been synonymous with basketball for decades. Football at Indiana was an afterthought, a punchline even. Once the losingest program in Division I football history, the president lauded the team's 2025 run as a legendary story, and Mendoza single-handedly rewrote the narrative. The numbers were staggering. Mendoza completed 72% of his passes for 3,535 yards and 41 touchdowns. In the college football playoffs, he recorded an 8-touchdown interception ratio. He didn't just win games, he annihilated the opposition with surgical precision. His passing accuracy placed him among the finest single-season performers in the history of the sport. His Heisman campaign was accompanied by a number of other awards, including the Walter Camp Award, Maxwell Award, AP College Football Player of the Year, Davey O'Brien Award, Manning Award, and Big Ten Most Valuable Player. He swept every individual honor available. The national championship game itself was a masterpiece of resilience. Mendoza anchored the Hoosiers' undefeated season from start to finish, especially in their final game, using a late-game touchdown run to defeat the Miami Hurricanes 27-21 in the College Football Playoff National Championship. That game was played in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Mendoza's hometown. The Heisman Trophy winner was part of an incredible stage that was set back in January when his return to South Florida to play for the national championship collided with another incredible storyline: the Miami Hurricanes playing for their first national title in over 20 years and in their home stadium, no less. The same Hurricanes who never offered him a scholarship. The same Hurricanes who had beaten his Cal team in that heartbreaking 39-38 comeback. This time, Mendoza was the one delivering the final blow. Off the field, his brand was exploding simultaneously. Mendoza is no stranger to sponsorships, having been a popular pick for NIL partnerships in recent years. His ascent demonstrates how quickly top college quarterbacks can become full-fledged marketing platforms, rather than single-brand endorsers. Recent deals of his include Adidas, Dr. Pepper, Royal Canin USA, LinkedIn, Keurig, and Epic Games, which positioned him across performance, lifestyle, and gaming audiences. During the Indiana Hoosiers' national title push, his LinkedIn presence, which might sound unusual for a college quarterback, became part of his identity. It began with LinkedIn, where the business-minded Mendoza changed his status to open to work on the professional networking platform. After declaring for the draft, Mendoza, a graduate of Cal's Haas School of Business, kept that partnership going by removing the open to work tag after he was drafted. By the time the 2026 NFL draft arrived, Fernando Mendoza wasn't just a football player. He was a brand. He was a movement. According to the latest industry valuations, the Indiana Star's name, image, and likeness portfolio is valued at an estimated $2.6 million, positioning him among the top 5 highest valued college football players in the country. And the significance of that financial infrastructure, both for Mendoza and for the franchise that would select him, cannot be overstated. When we examine the sponsor dynamics that would later become the center of this entire controversy, his character off the field was equally compelling. The University of Miami announced that Mendoza has committed $500,000 to launch the Mendoza Family Fund to support multiple sclerosis research, and that it is going to the university's health system and the Miller School of Medicine. Mendoza's mother, Elsa, has multiple sclerosis. His spirituality, his bond with his family, his work ethic in the classroom. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration from Berkeley's Haas School of Business. In 2025, all of it painted a picture of a young man who carried himself with a maturity far beyond his years. "My mom is my inspiration," Mendoza said, tearing up when discussing her battle with multiple sclerosis. "She's the reason I've gotten this far." So the question that every NFL general manager had to ask was straightforward. Is this the franchise quarterback? The Las Vegas Raiders thought so. The Las Vegas Raiders entered the 2026 NFL Draft with one mission. Las Vegas finished with a horrible 3-14 record last season. They had earned the #1 overall pick through one of the worst seasons in franchise history. The rebuild was long overdue, and the front office, led by new general manager John Spytek, had spent the better part of a year preparing for this exact moment. Over the past 7 months, those with Davis and Spytek in front of that big screen flew commercial and private, rented cars in the South and the Midwest, stayed in big cities and small towns, and poured endless hours into studying the 2026 draft's quarterbacks. They visited Bloomington. They evaluated every snap. They conducted background checks, psychological profiles, and medical evaluations. But this was never going to be a coronation. Every step would be taken. Every box would be checked. The verdict from Spytek's scouting department was unanimous. Raiders GM John Spytek on quarterback Fernando Mendoza. The thing that comes back from all these people that work with him is like, man, this guy's a machine. When it's time to work on ball, time to study ball, time to get on the field and throw, he's a machine. With the first overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders selected quarterback Fernando Mendoza. The pick was treated like a franchise-altering event. At no point did the moment seem too big, especially when walking into the lobby of the team's facilities to a standing ovation from the staff and team president Sandra Douglas Morgan. His mother, father, aunt, and 2 younger brothers trailed behind him, allowing him to soak in the moment. The symbolism ran deep. He has chosen to wear the number 15, the same number as Raider legend quarterback and coach Tom Flores, and received Flores' blessing to do so. Mendoza becomes the 5th Heisman Trophy winner to be drafted by the Raiders organization, joining Marcus Allen, 1982, Bo Jackson, 1987, Tim Brown, 1988, and Charles Woodson, 1998. The Raiders positioned this as more than a draft pick. This was the beginning of an era. To complement the pick, the Raiders signed veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins. In free agency, the Raiders signed 37-year-old Kirk Cousins as a mentor for Mendoza, and he is more than capable of starting until it is determined that Mendoza is fully ready. The idea was clear. Let Mendoza develop behind a proven veteran, absorb the playbook, learn the speed of the NFL, without the crushing weight of having to start immediately. An anonymous NFL executive said all indications are they are going to make Mendoza sit. Another exec expressed their belief that it will take some time before Mendoza is put in a proper position to succeed in Vegas, saying, "I think Mendoza will thrive there with Clint Kubiak, but it will take 2 or 3 years. They just don't have a good enough team." The roster around him included intriguing pieces. The Raiders do have some talented skill position players in place, such as tight end Brock Bowers and running back Ashton Janty, but their wide receiver room still leaves something to be desired, and it remains to be seen how their offensive line will gel. The Raiders' defense still has star edge rusher Max Crosby, who was traded this offseason before a failed physical sent him back to Las Vegas. The building blocks were there, scattered and imperfect, but present. Meanwhile, Mendoza's marketability was already being weaponized by the Raiders organization. There can be an organic connection for the Raiders and Mendoza with a faster-growing consumer class. As according to The Collaborative, the Latino purchasing power in the U.S. is growing 2.4 times faster than the non-Latino community. Even though Mendoza is not Mexican, he's Cuban. For Mexicans in Mexico, all Latinos are brothers and sisters, Valdez said. The commercial implications of having a Cuban-American Heisman winner as the face of the franchise in Las Vegas were massive. Sponsors took notice. Brands circled, the NFL's marketing machine began to hum, and then came the first sparks of controversy, the decisions that would put Mendoza under a microscope and ignite the rumors that have now consumed the internet. On May 11, 2026, the Indiana Hoosiers traveled to Washington, D.C. to celebrate their national championship at the White House. Their star quarterback was not among them. Raiders quarterback Fernando Mendoza skipped Indiana's visit to the White House on Monday. The decision immediately triggered a wave of speculation, debate, and social media confusion. The Raiders did not have an official practice scheduled, so there was some social media confusion about his decision to not go to the White House with his former college teammates. Some interpreted it as a political statement. Others questioned his priorities. The noise was deafening. Mendoza had stated his position days earlier during a rookie minicamp press conference. "I can't miss practice." Mendoza told reporters just days after he was selected first overall by the team. "As a rookie, I don't think that's a good look. I'm trying to best serve my teammates. and I don't know if that'd be accomplishing that goal. Mendoza was in Henderson at the team facility where the rookies were scheduled to report for the second phase of the off-season program. Team officials, however, confirmed he was in the facility along with the rest of the rookies, a group that includes multiple former Hoosiers who were also absent from the event in Washington. President Trump addressed Mendoza's absence directly during the ceremony. During the ceremony, Trump claimed Mendoza had called him to discuss his reasons for not attending. Trump framed it positively, stating that Mendoza was committed to his new team. Fernando couldn't be here today because, as I said, he's now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders, and let's see how good a team they have, Trump said. I think he's going to do great. He's a winner. But behind the public pleasantries, the spotlight on Mendoza was intensifying. A former New York Jets scout named Daniel Kelly posted what he intended to be a critique of the rookie's early throws. Former New York Jets scout Daniel Kelly posted a video of Mendoza's highlight reel from the Raiders' rookie minicamp on X, but he wasn't posting it as a compliment. Let me guess, Kelly wrote. They will edit out all the interceptions and all the bad-looking passes Fernando Mendoza makes from here until the preseason starts. The response from inside the Raiders' locker room was swift and telling. Dorsett, who has been with the Raiders since the start of last season, reposted that clip on X with his own response. Yeah, duh. Dorsett wrote, just like all the other 31 teams do with their QB. Kelly's point seemed too harsh, considering Mendoza is learning a new system from scratch. He took the majority of his college snaps out of the shotgun at Indiana and Cal. To make a shift during the rookie minicamp, he took more snaps from under center than he had in 3 seasons of college football combined. But it was pivotal to his development in Las Vegas. ESPN's Kirk Herbstreit weighed in with a counterpoint that resonated across the football world. You know why you believe in him? Because he's going to beat you with his mind, Herbstreit said on the May 12th edition of the Pat McAfee Show. Pat McAfee himself echoed the sentiment, recalling his time covering Indiana games and watching Mendoza's throwing mechanics up close. Every ball is a dart, every single one. The RPO offense that everybody was kind of judging them on. I think that's modern football. And I think the people who think he won't be able to figure out defenses, this guy's actually brilliant. Raiders legend Tim Brown offered the most grounded perspective of all. Don't try and be Tom Brady. Don't try and be Patrick Mahomes, Brown said. Just be who you are, because at the end, it's always going to come down to that anyway. You can plan to do this and plan to do that. But what's in you is what's always going to come out of you in the end. The scrutiny, the White House situation, the minicamp critiques, all of it generated the kind of magnetic attention that makes sponsors both excited and nervous. And it's exactly this volatile mixture that birthed the rumors now circling the internet about sponsors, ultimatums, and a potential release. So here's where we land on this. The claim circulating online that the Las Vegas Raiders released Fernando Mendoza following a sponsor ultimatum has no basis in verifiable reporting. Not from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, not from ESPN, not from NBC Sports, not from the Raiders' own media channels, not from a single credible NFL insider. Where did this narrative originate? Clickbait YouTube channels and unverified social media posts. If you search the claim, what you'll find are sensationalized video titles with zero-sourced reporting, designed to exploit the heightened interest around Mendoza's name and the controversy surrounding his White House absence and early minicamp film. The reality is the precise opposite of what the title suggests. All signs point to Kirk Cousins being the silver and black starter, but there's a chance Fernando Mendoza could win the job. Regardless of who wins the job, Mendoza is the Raiders' future and will be starting games, whether that's week 1 or at some point during the 2026 NFL season. Fernando Mendoza, number 15 of the Las Vegas Raiders, looks to pass during the team's rookie minicamp at the Las Vegas Raiders headquarters, Intermountain Health Performance Center, on May 2, 2026 in Henderson, Nevada. He is participating in team activities. He is throwing passes at OTAs. He is building chemistry with his receivers. He is being mentored by Kirk Cousins. He is firmly embedded in the Raiders' long-term plans. In terms of sponsorship, Mendoza has one of the most robust brand portfolios of any rookie in recent memory. Pfizer signed him to a cancer screening awareness campaign during draft weekend. He has active deals with Adidas, Dr. Pepper, T-Mobile, Epic Games, LinkedIn, Keurig, and Hugo Boss. He secured a role as chief financial playmaker with US Bank. There is no reported sponsor pulling out. There is no reported ultimatum. None of it checks out. What does check out is this: Fernando Mendoza is a 22-year-old man who came from a 2-star recruiting ranking, played his way through 3 offensive coordinators at Cal, transferred to Indiana, led the program to its first national championship and undefeated season, won the Heisman Trophy, was selected first overall, donated $500,000 to fight the disease his mother battles every day, skipped a White House ceremony because he wanted to be at team facilities working, and is now at the center of fabricated internet drama because his name generates clicks. The Raiders spent 7 months scouting this man. They flew to small towns and big cities. They checked every box, and when it came time to make the most important decision in the franchise's recent history, John Spytek picked up the phone and told Fernando Mendoza he was a Raider. He still is. The story here is not about a release. It's not about a sponsor ultimatum. It's about the internet's appetite for outrage outpacing the truth, and about a young quarterback whose actual story is far more compelling than anything fabricated clickbait could ever manufacture.